Morning grade 7s, welcome to lesson 7. In this lesson we will be learning how to add and subtract decimals. This is on page 95. So it says, when we add and subtract decimal fractions, we always do it the same way as we would a normal whole number. The most important thing to always remember is that we need to line up our columns correctly. And when we add or subtract decimals, we must line up the comma. So if I can tell you anything that's important today, that is the most important thing. When we are adding or subtracting decimals, the commas have to be in line. All right, they have to be. So if we look at our first example, it says calculate the following. Then question A, there's 3 decimals that we are adding. So we're going to line them up underneath each other. Obviously, we're going to use column method, but make sure your commas are aligned. So I've got 36, 4. Right, now the next one, I've got 0,023. My commas must be in line. So first put your comma down and then fill in the numbers. So I've got 0,023. So each number in its own column, and you don't skip columns. You fill it in from the comma. The next one, 9,376. Again, I'm going to put my comma in first. Then I fill in 9,376. So you can see I've kept all of my numbers in nice straight columns. And number 1, I have lined up my commas. Now I can draw my double line. And I can put in my plus sign. Now you'll notice there's a few empty spaces. So wherever you see an empty space, you're going to go fill in a 0. So I've got an empty space there, got one there, got one there, and I've got one there. So just to fill up my empty spaces, I put in zeros. Okay, now it's easy. Now we just add in columns, starting with the right column. So 0 plus 3 plus 6 is then 9. 0 plus 2 plus 7 is 9. 4 plus 0 plus 3 is 7. My comma again must stay in line. 6 plus 0 plus 9 is 15. I carry the 1. 1 plus 3 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. So there I've lined up each column. I've lined up my commas. You can see I just carry to the next column. And my final answer is 45,799. So I want you to quickly pause this video and calculate example 1b. And when you're ready, press play and we'll go through it together. Okay, hopefully you've worked out the answer to question 1b. I'm going to quickly work it out. So once again, make sure you are lining up your columns nicely. 52. Okay, and we are again adding. So I'm going to draw my double line. I'm going to insert my plus symbol, and wherever I see open space, I'm going to put in a 0. Okay, so this one's only got 2 zeros. Right, 3 plus 0 is 3. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. My commas I'm going to line up. 0 plus 8 is 8. 0 plus 9 is 9. So my final answer is 98,943. Okay, now subtraction works exactly the same way. We're going to line it up exactly the same. So for C, I'm going to say 0,496 minus 0,328. Now with this one, there's no open spaces, so I don't need to put in zeros anywhere. If there were open spaces, again, I would just put in a colorful pink 0 over there. Okay, now subtraction, I've lined up my columns once again, I've lined up my commas. Now again, I'm going to start subtracting from the last column. 6 minus 8, I can't do. Please take note, I don't say 8 minus 6. It's 6 minus 8. So I need to borrow. I borrow 1 from a 9, it becomes an 8. That becomes 16. 16 minus 8 is 8. 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 minus 3 is 1. Comma must stay there. 0 minus 0 is just 0. So my final answer for this one is 0,168. Again, pause the video, work out question D for me. Okay, question D works exactly the same way. I'm going to line up my columns. Minus 45,92. Now you'll see this one had open spaces, so you had to put in your imaginary zeros. So I'm going to put one in there and I'm going to put one in there. Okay, 3 minus 0 is 3. 0 minus 2. If I've got nothing, I can't take 2 away from it, so I need to borrow. So I borrow 1 from the 6, it becomes a 5. That becomes 10 minus 2, which is 8. 5 minus 9, again I can't do, so I go to the next column. Can I borrow anything from a 0? No, I can't, so I go to the following column. So I borrow 1 from a 2, it becomes 1. Now I can't jump across, so I need to go back to this column. That 1 that I borrowed went there, became 10. However, I need it here. So I'm going to borrow 1 from the 10, that would become a 9. And this column would now become 15. So 15 minus 9 is 6. Put my comma. 9 minus 5 is 4. 1 minus 4 I can't do. I'll borrow from the 1 next door. It becomes 0. Carried it there. It becomes 11 minus 4, which is 7. 0 minus 0 is just 0. So that is your final answer. So most important thing to remember in this section, make sure your columns are lined up. And they must be lined up with the commas. So if you want to, you can take your highlighter and make sure that your columns are all lined up according to the commas. Alright, that's the end of lesson 7. In the next lesson, we will continue with decimals.